Travel. The North Korean passport is considered one of the rarest official documents in the world, issued only to a very limited number of trusted individuals who undergo rigorous vetting. Its use is restricted to academic, sports, or government-related purposes. Even domestic travel requires a special travel permit, and people cannot leave their place of residence freely. Foreign tourists visiting North Korea must be accompanied by a guide at all times and are strictly prohibited from traveling independently. In contrast, the South Korean passport allows visa-free or visa-on-arrival access to 192 countries and territories, ranking third globally. Over 16 million South Koreans travel abroad each year, despite the country's population being just over 50 million. Beauty and hair. In North Korea, barbers are limited to offering 10 approved men's hairstyles and 18 approved women's hairstyles. Changing one's hairstyle without permission may result in penalties. However, cosmetics are quite popular among women, and North Korea has local cosmetic factories. The government is also actively promoting domestic cosmetic products. South Korea, on the other hand, is world-renowned for its cosmetic surgery industry, which accounts for about 4% of the GDP. Plastic surgery is extremely common, spanning from teenagers to older adults, and in some cases, it is even given as a graduation gift to students. South Korea also has a massive cosmetics industry, with brands like Laneige, OHUI, Sulwhasoo, and the history of who being widely purchased through resellers and cross-border e-commerce platforms. Nightlife. Nightlife in North Korea is relatively scarce. Although Pyongyang has a few KTVs and bars, these are mostly reserved for specific groups, and due to unstable electricity supply, power outages are frequent, even in the capital. South Korea offers a vibrant and diverse nightlife. Gangnam District is home to upscale nightclubs and clubs. KTVs are popular spots for socializing and relaxing. Bars, izakayas, saunas, and night markets are also common throughout the country. Automobile industry. North Korea has a very low car ownership rate, about 1 vehicle per 100 people. While the country has its own Pyongyang car factory, production is minimal. Only 150 vehicles were manufactured in 2011. Most citizens cannot afford cars. On the streets of Pyongyang, traffic officers sometimes salute government vehicles, excluding those of top leaders. For civilians, winning an Olympic medal is considered a shortcut to owning a car. South Korea is the world's 5th largest car producer. Brands such as Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis are well known. The country has 26.13 million registered vehicles, about 1 for every 2 people. In 2024, domestic and international vehicle sales totaled around 4.4 million units. Housing. In North Korea, housing is allocated by the government based on one's job status and contributions. For example, in 2022, famous news anchor Ri Chun-hee was assigned a high-end apartment, while the housing for regular teachers, workers, and farmers varies significantly in quality. South Korea operates a commercial housing system. In 2021, housing prices in Seoul's Gangnam District reached $22,000 per square meter, ranking 3rd globally. Despite a 30% to 40% market crash in recent years, prices remain high. The JONS system, where tenants pay a deposit equal to 50% to 80% of the property value with no monthly rent but must cover interest on loans, has triggered a crisis due to tighter financial policies. Landlord defaults and tenant losses have become widespread, with transaction volumes plummeting over 70%. Housing remains largely unaffordable for average citizens. Currency. The North Korean won comes in 9 denominations: 5, 10, 50, 100, 200, 500, 1,000, 2,000, and the highest, 5,001. The bills feature images of workers, the national flower, soldiers, and portraits of Kim Il-sung. $1 is equivalent to 886.66 North Korean won. The South Korean won has 5 denominations: 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, and 50,000 won. These banknotes depict winter sports, natural landscapes, ancient kings, and artists. In comparison, $1 equals 1,472 South Korean won. Sports. North Koreans are passionate about sports, especially soccer. Their national team qualified for the World Cup finals in England in 1966 and South Africa in 2010. Although these appearances are rare, they created some iconic moments. General Kim Jong-un is also a big soccer fan and has often attended domestic league matches with his wife, reportedly predicting all match outcomes correctly. That said, always remember to greet the general properly. Otherwise, you might be sent to the farm for re-education. North Korea has won a total of 57 Olympic medals, including 16 golds, excelling in weightlifting, gymnastics, and judo under its national sports system. South Koreans are passionate about soccer, shooting, and short track speed skating. The country's greatest sports contribution is Taekwondo, though it has also faced controversies like match fixing in soccer. South Korea has won 287 Olympic medals, 96 gold, with strengths in Taekwondo and short track speed skating. At the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics, North Korean athletes were allowed to participate. Athletes from both countries entered the stadium under the Korean Peninsula flag, a symbol used only in international sports events and never officially recognized by either side. Airports. North Korea's only international airport is Pyongyang's Sunan International Airport. It is very small, handling just over 6,000 international tourists per year. The facilities are basic, with only one terminal and a few shops. Only 2 airlines fly there: Air China and North Korea's Air Koryo, often dubbed a one-star airline group, which operates aircraft as old as 55 years, with outdated equipment and mediocre in-flight meals. In contrast, South Korea's Incheon International Airport is one of the largest and busiest airports in the world. It features indoor gardens, private lounges, restaurants, an ice skating rink, and even a golf course. The airport handles over 100 million passengers annually, with 88 airlines operating 189 routes covering 58 countries and regions. Public holidays. Believe it or not, besides weekends, North Koreans have 71 official holidays per year. Most of these are established to honor national milestones and the supreme leaders. For example, April 15th is Day of the Sun, which is more important than Lunar New Year. It celebrates the birthday of Kim Il-sung, the founding leader, known as the Eternal Sunday. Citizens dress formally to commemorate the day. February 16th is Day of the Shining Star, marking Kim Jong-il's birthday. The grand military parades seen online typically occur on National Day, September 9th, and Party Foundation Day, October 10th. July 8th and December 17th are days of mourning for deceased leaders, when all sectors and citizens are required to participate in memorial activities to deeply mourn the sons. In comparison, South Korea has only 15 official holidays. Media. Although North Korea's constitution guarantees freedom of speech and the press, this is not the reality. All TV stations are state-owned, and even mild criticism can result in a journalist's arrest or being sent to a labor camp to dig coal. But perhaps that's not quite right. There simply is no criticism. The people are eternally grateful to live in a utopia. By contrast, South Korea has a media landscape more aligned with Western nations, and the industry is relatively open. Notably, South Korea's current film rating system enables filmmakers to explore a wide range of themes, which has led to the production of many impactful films. One example is Parasite, the first Korean film to win the Academy Award for Best Picture. Honestly, it's a deeply moving and well-made movie, and if you haven't seen it, it's highly recommended. Healthcare. North Korea has what can be considered a truly free healthcare system. Birth, illness, and death all cost nothing. The catch is that medical conditions are extremely limited. Not every patient can access the scarce healthcare resources, especially those living in rural areas. Many hospitals lack equipment and infrastructure, and the overall level of care is, frankly, underdeveloped. But it's free, although medicine and medical devices are so rare, they're practically non-existent. South Korea, on the other hand, has a comprehensive national health insurance system. Its medical technology is among the best in the world in several fields, such as ophthalmology, oncology, and cardiology. Cancer survival rates are relatively high. For example, the 5-year survival rate for stomach and colorectal cancer is as high as 70 to 80%. South Korea uses a tiered healthcare system. Patients usually begin at local clinics, and doctors determine whether a referral to a general or specialized hospital is necessary. Most healthcare institutions are privately run, making up over 90% of the system. Shopping. When it comes to basic needs like clothing, food, housing, and transportation, North Korea mostly relies on imports. Industrial goods are primarily imported from China, while sugar products largely come from Southeast Asia. In North Korea, prices are supposed to be state-regulated, but over the past 2 decades, inflation has essentially broken the state pricing system. Occasionally, like on the birthdays of the 2 sons, the state will offer limited supplies as a form of welfare. One family might be allowed to buy a bucket of cooking oil or a bar of soap. But in the utopia, counterfeit goods don't exist. Selling them would be a desecration of the sons and would be severely punished. In short, due to an incomplete industrial system, most consumer goods in North Korea must be imported. In contrast, South Korea has a very well-stocked consumer market. Large retailers and convenience stores are everywhere, and the country exports a wide variety of products every year. Clothing. In North Korea, wearing jeans or any clothing with foreign text is forbidden, as it's seen as a symbol of Western capitalist culture. As mentioned earlier, men have very limited hairstyle choices, and even those come with length restrictions. Older men can't have hair longer than 7 centimeters, and for younger men, the limit is 5 centimeters. Women have slightly more options for hairstyles, but they're typically expected to have black hair. Hair dyeing is not allowed, and there's a distinction based on marital status. Unmarried women are not allowed to wear their hair in a bun. Meanwhile, South Korea was once a major cultural trendsetter in Asia. Korean hairstyles, fashion, pop music, and idol groups have all been wildly popular among young people throughout the region. Education. North Korea enforces a 12-year compulsory education system. School attendance is mandatory. The state covers all education-related expenses, including textbooks, reference materials, school supplies, uniforms, extracurricular activities, field trips, and even summer camps. During elementary school, students take cultural classes in the morning and gratitude education classes. In the afternoon, there are school-organized, free extracurricular activities like singing, dancing, and soccer. This helps explain why ethnic Korean girls are often said to be good singers and dancers. After high school, boys who don't go to college are expected to join the military. Even college graduates must serve for 3 years. By comparison, South Korea is one of the most highly educated countries in the world, with over 70% of people having received higher education. However, getting into a good university or company is infamously difficult. It's often described as a brutal, high-stress competition. Military. Both countries have mandatory military service. In North Korea, men serve for 10 years and women for 7 years. The country maintains 1.35 million active troops, always prepared to reunify the peninsula under the leadership of the son and out of gratitude to the general. North Korea also possesses nuclear weapons. In South Korea, men must serve between 2 and 3 years. It's extremely difficult even for the rich and famous to avoid conscription. Studying abroad or using loopholes rarely works. Even K-pop star G-Dragon had to serve. One of the biggest fears for South Korean men is hazing, abuse and bullying within the military ranks. There have been numerous reports of mistreatment of new recruits. If you're curious, there's a lot of news coverage you can look up. So, what are your thoughts on these 2 very different countries on the Korean peninsula?